What's up, guys? It's Aaron, Chevy truck guy. Today we're going to be installing the last piece of the puzzle for the air ride, the E-Level controller, the ECU, and then running it through the paces to get it going. So you can check out what I've done so far. I've got all the ride height sensors set up where they need to be. The front ones are up here, mounted to the cross member, up to the upper A-arm. All the wirings ran inside the frame. I'm running 3/8 lines to each bag. So I was going to put a tank back here, but I ended up just putting all my air ride back here. So I've got my dual vire compressors. I ended up going with an 8-gallon tank. Kind of regret doing that. Maybe going with a 5 next time. Got my VU4 there, and that's where my ECU will mount up. All right, so here's my new ECU. When I put this kit on and I tried testing it a couple weeks ago, it was doing all kinds of funky stuff. And I called ACCUAIR. Their tech line was real cool. I talked to Aaron there, and he said send in the E-Level, the T-pad, and the USB cord. So I sent all that in. He checked it. He said, "Yep, the ECU was bad." So he ended up sending me this one for no cost. So those guys over there, pretty awesome. This is the R10 version, which is the newer model. I guess they did a couple of different things with like the battery drain issues. So hopefully there won't be any issues with this, but it looks awesome. So I'm excited to get this one back on there. Time for a little Miller High Life. All right, now that it's all bolted back down how it's supposed to be, I'm gonna just finish plugging everything back in. So, let me hook the battery up and then we'll give this a shot. All right, that's a good sign because last time it wasn't lighting up at all. So right now I don't have my ignition power hooked up, so what I'll do, I have it jumped right here. I'll hook up my ignition power to here. So that's basically like my keyed ignition power. So hold this for 5 seconds. Let me Google that real quick. What's up, guys? Welcome back. So last video ended off me not being able to figure out what exactly was going on. So I was having an issue where even when I put power, just battery power connected, my touchpad would start flashing, which it shouldn't have even had power because my ignition power wasn't wired up to it. So when I unplugged the height sensor harness, it started working properly with the ignition power hooked up. So basically, after doing some emailing, kind of figured out it was something on the install side that was wrong. So basically it has to be in the height sensor harness. So what I did was got my multimeter. So what I did was get my multimeter and check for continuity. So I checked both rear sensors, everything checks out good. You know, it only is beeping on the wire that it's supposed to be on, which is how it's supposed to be. So I got to the front left, so I've got this jumper wire, ran all the way up here into my sensor harness, back to here, my voltmeter, then here's my height sensor harness. So you hear that? It's beeping on that one and that one. So that's why it's backfeeding the power through, because I've got the short in that ground. So my next move is to figure out where that short is. And I did modify the sensor harness to make it be able to fit all my corners properly. So let's dig into it, figure out what I need to do. So this is where I have one of my connections. This harness in itself actually had to lengthen, because when I put this on, it had already been shortened and didn't fit for where I have my ECU set up. So this one I had to splice in 2 spots, and that may be why I'm having this issue. So let me cut all this open. Everything was soldered and with heat shrink around it, but I might have just a little bit of something touching. All right, so I got it all opened up and I don't see where this one would be causing an issue. So now let me move to this other solder section that I had to do. All right, I got that other splice checked out, and turns out that I found an issue. So what I found was, here it is here. Right here on this red wire, after I had did all the soldering, shrunk those wires, put the heat shrink around that. I'm not sure if there's just a little sharp piece on my solder, but it was actually shorting out the 2 wires. So that's my issue. I'm gonna get that taken care of, and then we're gonna check it out. All right guys, now that we got all the wiring handled, all the issues that we found, well, the 2 issues, we're gonna program the height settings. So we're gonna hold the 2 and the dot. Okay, so once the 2 lights up like that, that means the calibration is complete. So now we can go to 3. We'll go 90% max height. 1, 10% of height. Or 2, which will be my drive height. And it'll self-adjust as it goes. And then I'll air out. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.